Health is life. Your health matters. You matter. Health begins in the spirit and the mind. Take time to love you. Live well. Be well.
Yeah, let's go.
Health matters to me.
Come on, get up, cause you tuned into the station for your morning motivation to get your education for your health and your spiritual needs.
Health matters to me.
Yeah, strong will to empower the people, to promote the peace, though. Positive attitudes, behavior, that's a lifelong dream goal.
Health matters to me.
Yeah, health matters and we're here to help you become the better you, to be the best version you can be.
Health matters to me.
Yeah, and it's time for this classic, fantastic food for your soul. Here's Jackie and Coach Patrick right here. Let's go.
Health matters to me.
Good morning. You listen to Health Matters. I'm Jackie.
And Coach Patrick.
And you're listening to WAAW Shout 94.7 FM, the voice of the gospel truth.
Another beautiful day the Lord has made.
Hey, we're going to rejoice and be glad in it, Coach.
I tell you, God gets it right every time.
Yes.
Every time he gets it right.
Yes, he does.
The joy of the Lord is my strength.
I know it.
It is my strength.
Yes, it is.
It
Yes,
makes
it
me
is.
strong.
Yes, amen.
I can do all things through him.
Yes,
That
yes.
strengthens me.
Yes, and we always like to start off a moment of gratitude, and we know that gratitude have many health benefits, mental health, physical health, help with depression and stress management. So always look and find something every day to be grateful for, no matter whether it's big, no matter whether it's small. Always find something to be grateful for, because if you wake up in the morning, that's just, you have air in your lungs. That's something to be grateful for.
Don't take it for granted.
Don't take it for granted. So don't take life for granted. It's precious. So always find something to be grateful for.
That's right. Set the course. Set the course.
Yes.
All right. So we just want to, again, welcome you to Health Matters, our listeners on WAW 94.7 FM, those that are viewing on Facebook, those that are viewing on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us on this morning. We're going to be talking about heart health on this morning. We have Dr. Dan Josich that's going to be interviewed and talking to us this morning and talking to you and sharing some things to you about heart health. This is Heart Health Awareness Month. So that's what we'll be addressing on this morning. We're going to acknowledge our sponsors, those that help us do what we do on this show and help us to have the ability and capability to continue to come over these airwaves and these social media waves. Aiken Chiropractic, Dr. Dan, when your spine is aligned, your body is too. Aiken Chiropractic is located at 425 Lawrence Street Northwest, right here in Aiken, South Carolina. Their number is 803-641-9191. And their website is www.aikenchiropractic.com. And Mr. Keith Richardson, nobody turned down. His motto is get a free Medicare checkup and make sure you're in the right Medicare plan. Keith's number is 803-281-6600. Again, that number is 803-281-6600. His email is keith@nobodyturneddown.com, and his website is www.nobodyturneddown.com. If you would like to be a sponsor, a partner, or a friend of the broadcast, you can call 706-592-8862. We would love for you to help us do what we do over these airways and over the social media airways. Yeah. We'd love for you to help us do that. Jackie, this February, birthdays and anniversaries.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
To all the February people, our sister Phyllis, our brother Junior, Rufus Jr., our sister Joyce. Happy anniversary and happy birthday to my mom.
Yes, happy heavenly birthday.
And
Days in May.
Yeah, happy anniversary to all the beautiful couples that are celebrating a happy anniversary.
That's right.
Yes.
So happy birthday, happy anniversary. Enjoy and celebrate yourselves.
All right. Yes. Yes.
All right. So listen, Health Matters happenings. We used to do that all the time back when we was first on the radio station. So we're bringing that segment back. And for this month, we're going to be dedicating our Health Matters happenings to Black History Month. So we'll be sharing with you some history facts of Black history for the month of February during our Health Matters happening session. And we're also bringing back our health tips, our wellness tips that Jackie will be sharing with you. So Mary Eliza Mahoney. She's our Black History fact on this month, this morning. She was born on May 7, 1845 in Dorchester, Boston, Massachusetts. She died on January 4th, 1926. She was the first Black woman to become a professionally licensed nurse in the United States, graduating from the New England Hospital for Women and Children in 1879. She was a trailblazer who fought for racial equality in nursing, and she was a co-founder of the National Association of Colored Graduate Nurses and was a champion for women's suffrage. She became one of Boston's first Black women to register vote. Again, that was Mary Eliza Mahoney, your Black History fact for this morning and your Help Matters happenings. All right, Jackie.
All right. And so we'd like to give you a few wellness tips for today. And of course, we're celebrating Healthy Heart Month. And by living a healthy lifestyle, you can help keep your blood pressure, cholesterol, blood sugar levels normal, and lower your risk for heart disease and heart attack. Make healthier food and drink choices. Avoid sugary drinks. Achieve and maintain a healthy weight that fits you, that's right for you.
Mhm.
Get regular physical activity, move your body, get up and get out and move, as we say. No compromising, don't smoke. There's no compromising there. When it comes smoke, just quit. Manage your medical condition, cholesterol, blood pressure, diabetes. Also, work with your health care team and talk with your doctor and have that partnership with your doctor. And I want to add another one, manage stress.
Yes. So
Those are your Help Matters wellness tip for today.
yeah, that mental piece is strong, Jack.
Oh, yes,
It affects
absolutely.
every piece. It affects every piece. All right. So we're gonna get ready to bring on Dr. Dan. We're gonna, as I say, talking about health, heart health this morning, because maintaining your heart health requires a combination of a nutritious diet, high in fiber, low in sodium, low in saturated fat, and then for you to be physically active. Try to get at least 150 minutes of moderate aerobic exercise weekly. And as Jackie said earlier in her tips, quit smoking. That's easily said than done, but you got the willpower to do it. I know you do. So you can quit smoking, manage stress. That's so important, and get some sleep. Get some sleep. That's one of the things that we don't do. Some of us don't do well in is trying to get our sleep. But without further ado, we're going to bring Dr. Dan Jolich on of Aiken Chiropractic. All right, let me get Dr. Dan on the scene.
Dr. Dan.
And what's going on?
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
How's everybody doing? I'm doing fine. You can hear me okay, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
we
yes,
got
hear you
Yeah.
perfect.
I have changed the room that I'm doing in it, so it's totally different.
Oh,
It's good to see everybody. It's good to talk about the heart health, and I can give you some more points and what to do, a little bit more specific. But you kind of touched up on a lot of things, which is really cool. I think the history is extremely important, and all the people that fought for civil rights should be honored. I am trying to see if I can sponsor a meeting in Aiken. Mr. Chandler is a member of this fraternity, and I did not know he does all that. And so I found out they get together, they have a luncheon or something, and it's at the African American Historical Center in Aiken on York Street. I've been by the building a million times, but I didn't know what they do in there. Usually it's closed. And so they do that, and they get together, and there's probably 70, 80 people in there. So I'm going to see about, sponsoring one of their luncheons and show up and see who, what's going on and how do they do this stuff. But it seems like that would be a cool thing to do, Being from Europe, I just love the history. I mean, I just think American history is just fascinating. And, we got to learn it. We got to remember it so we don't repeat it. That's how it is.
I like what you said, American history, because Black history is American history. Yes, sir.
It is American history. All of that is an American experience. That's what's, good about this country. It's multinational. It's everybody's from somewhere. And I think it's pretty cool as long as people get along and, they're stronger together. There's so many different experiences. I don't know if you watched the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
last weekend.
Oh,
I didn't really watch it, but I did see the show in the middle, at the halftime, and wow, they went all out with their show, right? That was really well done.
Yeah, a lot of messages, strong messages in there,
Yeah, I thought that was really, really kind of fun and cool. And I like at the end when he talked about, long live, America, whatever, but then he mentioned all of the countries on the American continent, and I thought that was really neat because it's not just United States, it's all of these countries, which is we
South America,
share.
Central America, North America.
Yeah, there's a bunch of them, and we share this world with everybody, and we should be friendly with one another. I think love is what brings us together, and we need to serve each other and do well, and that's what's going to prevail in the end. That's how I feel about it.
And that in itself would contribute to having a healthy heart. Just, getting along.
Yeah, so let's touch up on that. Cardiovascular disease is still the leading cause of death in the United States. As you just mentioned, all these things, but the proper diet and exercise are definitely the key preventative health measures. So we need physical fitness, we need fiber, we need healthy fats, we need something called phytochemicals, because they reduce oxidative stress to our body. We need to lower our cholesterol, reduce tissue inflammation, improve vascular function, and support our healthy weight. I would have to say that, since the cardiovascular disease is the leading cause of death in the United States, heart disease and stroke combined account for about 25 to 30% of total deaths in recent years. So, that's pretty serious. Almost half, some more statistics, almost half of all American adults of 20 years of age and older have some form of cardiovascular disease. It can be coronary heart disease, heart failure, stroke, hypertension. 25% of adults have elevated LDL levels of cholesterol, and the number of Americans who actually follow a healthy diet is probably only about 1%. So we can do a lot better. So, if you eat the standard Western diet, you will surely develop heart disease and may possibly die from it. So you got to think about that. Something's got to change. We are not supposed to eat what we've been sold for all these years. Now,
Dr.
or
Dan,
should I say decades?
say that again, Dr. Dan. We don't what? Repeat that, please.
We were sold or told to eat certain things for decades. They were wrong. And the typical Western diet is too high in certain type of fats that are unhealthy for us. And it's just a terrible thing. And you eat that kind of diet, the Western diet, and you're going to develop heart disease. It's just a matter of time and could die from that. So heart disease is preventable. It is a preventable type of disease, okay? It is primarily caused by diet and lifestyle factors. So up to 90% of all heart attacks in our country are due mostly to modifiable risk factors, such as what you mentioned earlier, smoking, high blood pressure, abnormal lipid levels, low vegetable and fruit consumption, insufficient exercise, and obesity. Those are things that we can change, and yet we're all doing it. Now, furthermore, research has established that heart disease is reversible. In other words, the atherosclerotic plaque can regress in response to sufficient diet and lifestyle modifications. So, the proper type of doctors out there that treat this stuff are going to also educate patients on what the proper lifestyle should be. It's really not that difficult, but you got to change it if you want to live long. I mean, only 1% is doing something. 99% of us are doing it wrong. There you go. I'm saying I'm in that category probably too. I try not to, but I mean, what makes me that much better than everybody else? I live here as well. So just to be completely clear here, drugs and surgery can help, but they do not address the actual cause of cardiovascular disease. Surgical intervention, it is not a long-term solution to heart disease. It is only to merely treat a small portion of a blood vessel while cardiovascular disease continues to progress throughout your body, throughout the vasculature. So, if somebody has a, plaque in their arteries and they get a restriction there, and they start having, serious symptoms like sharp chest pain and shortness of breath and, some numbness. They go to a doctor, they do all the tests. Oh, you got a couple of arteries around your heart. They're 90% blocked. So let's go and, do a stent there and, save your life. They can do that. But they are not really treating the basic root cause of that. They're just treating the symptoms of that. That's really a symptom.
Yeah.
So we need to be smarter than that. That can be preventable. So although cholesterol and blood pressure lowering drugs do reduce risk of heart attack and stroke, they do not stop heart attack or heart disease from progressing. Okay, so if you rely on just medicine and you can eat whatever you want, you don't really give it much thought, and you don't really exercise, you're still gonna get sick. You're still gonna have issues later on. So you gotta be smarter than that. There are also other risks and side effects to consider. So for instance, a lot of people are using statin drugs. Statin drugs have been associated with increased risk of diabetes, impaired muscle function, cataracts in your eyes, liver dysfunction, and kidney injury. Diuretics that people take are also linked to an increased risk of diabetes. Beta blockers have increased risk of stroke, and calcium channel blockers and angiotensin receptor blockers have an increased risk of cancer. So, all of those things are not really treating the cause. They're treating some kind of symptom that pops up, but it's not going to really save your life. You might prolong it to some extent, but if you really want to live long and not, the best thing to do is change your lifestyle. You got to change your lifestyle. So, the risk associated with these treatments, with these medications I just mentioned, really are unacceptable when you have a safe, effective alternative. And that would be excellent nutrition and exercise that can actually reverse heart disease. So why not do that? You got to eat. Why don't you eat the right things? So, give you an example, a really good friend of mine that moved here, I might have mentioned it before. Well, actually, Mariah's husband, the lady that was on the show, Santana. Yeah, so her husband, Timothy. So in December of last year, Mariah texted me, and Timothy ended up having sharp chest pain and some stuff. And she texted me, oh, there's always something. He's at Aiken Regional, and they brought him in the hospital. So he was to cut the story short, he was there for 9 days, and he had to have a surgery. He had to have 2 stents put in. 2 of the arteries around his heart were closed. He could have died. Okay, so they treated that, but he caused that, and he was telling me he was very stressed out since they moved. He was working hard. He was working around the clock. He says, I don't know if I did 200 steps a day. He's a computer guy. And so he's, in the computer all day long. And so he just works from home. He did not do many steps. He really didn't watch what he was eating. And that culminated in him having, a heart attack and, could have died. And just, Timothy's only 50 years old. And I'm 57. So, he's younger than me, and look what could have happened. So you can't allow that to happen. You have to be smarter than that, and you got to, change your lifestyle. So now he's doing that. He's trying to change his lifestyle. He knows what, how bad he was. So they really need to change their lifestyle. So thankfully, there's science. We have a lot of knowledge, and we know what's to do. It's not like this is all, jumbo mumbo. We know what to do. There's been a lot of, studies done, everything. There's plenty of knowledge there. So,
Yes.
so what we got to do? We got to avoid or limit, I would say avoid, certain type of foods that cause damage to cardiovascular system. And some of these foods go into refined carbohydrates, certain type of oils, added sodium. We got to watch the sodium level, and certain animal products. And we need to choose the foods that promote the health and heart and healthy heart and blood vessels. And those things should be including green vegetables, a variety of other vegetables, berries. I mentioned berries in the past. Beans and lentils are good, and whole food sources of fat. And some meat is good too. But nuts, seeds, and avocado is also really good. So they had all kinds of studies. There was a healthcare study that I read, and it says that in this study they found that a high meat protein intake, which we happen to do in this country, was associated with 60% greater risk of death from heart disease and stroke compared to low intake. We eat too much meat. We can eat meat. We just need to watch the portion size.
Right.
And then high intake of protein from nuts and seeds, the good ones, was associated with 40% lower risk. So this stuff lowers it 40%, while excess meat protein increases 60% risk. I mean, it's a no-brainer, So we need meat. Just to be quite frank over here, I'm not advocating that somebody is now all of a sudden they don't need meat at all. I mean, vegetarian, because it's really difficult to be healthy if you're 100% vegetarian. Vegetables don't have all of the stuff that we need to stay alive. There are certain things, there's certain essential amino acids. They're not found in vegetables. They're only found in meat. So you do need to consider that. But that doesn't mean you got to eat a 20-ounce steak,
Dr. Dan.
We talked about this before. The amount of meat you eat should fit in the palm of your hand. And I don't mean fingers like this part right here, the palm. It should fit there. That'll be what you eat, And then also you got to watch how you eat it. Stay away from fried foods. Fried food is horrible for you. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Yes. And that's one of the reasons why down south, the cardiovascular disease rates are huge compared to, say, out west. Like in the western states, because they eat different diet there, and we don't. And I mean, as a whole. And so you really, really got to stay away from fried foods. Eat grilled or blackened, but or maybe baked. But don't be eating the deep fried stuff. I mean, I know it tastes better, but don't eat that stuff. If you get used to the other stuff, you will not miss it. You will not miss it. So then there's fish. Doesn't mean you gotta eat, beef all the time. There is fish as well, and fish is a really good source of some of those omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids that we need. And just to keep it simple, I mentioned this I think before, but sardines, they are inexpensive. I go to a grocery store, they all have them. Yeah, there's a sardine. I think it's made in Norway or something, and it's in the can, and it's like Yeah, they're like $2 or $2.30 or something. And this is what it says on there. It says skinless, boneless sardines in olive oil. That's what I buy. I mean, you open that thing, it's like a little fish fillets. There is no skin, there is no tail, there's no scales, there is no head, there's no bones. It's just a little fish fillets. And they're in olive oil. Olive oil is the best oil for us, really. So, I buy that. And I eat it for lunch. I empty one of those cans in the plate, and then I cut some onions. Onions are phenomenally good for us, and maybe some garlic, and then you go brush your teeth afterwards. But,
I know, right?
Yeah.
That's a good mix there.
Yeah.
Well, they good for you. And I heard, I started eating because I was diagnosed with hypothyroidism during menopause, and they're very good with saline. So they have really good health benefits.
Well,
you're absolutely right.
They're excellent for us, and the thing is, there's a ratio between this omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. So it's not like, you're just gonna get it, because people think, well, let me get some pills, supplements. Well, they don't work as good. Okay, better think naturally. Secondly, all of these sources, they say, those kind of fish, they have a perfect ratio, which is 2-to-1, and that's exactly what we need in our body. Otherwise, it's not as good. So, you can eat meat, but you need to kind of limit and check what kind of meat and how you prepare that meat. I was also going to say, just last week, I was reading another study, medical study. It happened to take place in China, and they looked at people over 80 and above, like 80 plus and over 100, and they wanted to see what kind of diets are these people eating, and what kind of diet would be more conducive to live over 100. And the conclusion of the study is you have much bigger chances of being a centenarian to live over 100 years of age if you eat meat. So people that didn't eat meat didn't live as long. And the people that eat some meat in their diet, they eat vegetables and fruit, but they also eat meat, a lot of them were over 100. And so, the conclusion was as we age, our nutritional requirements for our body also change. And
Right.
as we get
Right.
older, we need more of certain vitamins and minerals. Well, meat has a lot of vitamins and minerals, about 90 of them. So, and they're more concentrated. So you don't need a huge piece of meat, but a smaller piece of meat has all of those things that are good for us. And to get all of those things from vegetables, you gotta eat like 10 times more. Well, no one's gonna sit and eat like a 5-pound salad. I mean, so that's what I'm saying. They're a little bit more concentrated, so it's good to eat some meat as well. But if
And
we
that's,
talk,
and that's that challenge, Dr. Dan. That's where that great challenge come in, because a lot of people can get their physical activity going, but then when it comes to that food, because you've been eating a certain way all your life, but people
Yeah.
have to understand how important it is to get that under control. You talked about a couple of months ago, and we reran that broadcast where you talked about the 5-day fast.
Yeah.
And that's important too, because it gives your body an opportunity, to heal itself when you
It
do
does.
that fasting
Yeah.
between meals and stuff.
Yeah, the body heals when you do that. If you're not going to die, you're going to heal. Your body will get rid of toxins, and that's really important to do every so often. Reset. Look at your digital devices like your laptop or computer or your phone. If you don't turn it off every so often, it's going to start to do some crazy things.
Sure will.
And that's what they say. You got to shut it down and then ready to restart, and then the computer will run better again. So even computer needs to clean junk, but how about our body? I mean, we got to do it. We got to reset as well. Well, all of those things matter because people in general live longer now than they did, 100 years ago. 100 years ago, in early 1900s, the life expectancy in this country was 49. And now it's, depends on the state, but it's in the 70s or 80s, So we definitely have raised our life expectancy. And because we're living longer, now a lot of stuff is coming to surface. People simply didn't live long enough 100 years ago to have all these diseases and stuff. They died before that from something else. They had wars, they had famine, life was hard. I mean, they worked pretty hard. Now things are different. There are different type of careers, like my friend Timothy that sits at a computer. They didn't know it existed, in early 1900s. So life was a lot tougher, and because they did a lot of physical activity, most people were involved into agriculture, or they worked in like some kind of industrial kind of field. That was physically demanding jobs. They needed strong diets for that. They needed a lot of protein and stuff because they exerted a lot of calories when they were working. What do we do today? I mean, life is easier. I mean, you don't even, a lot of the jobs are office jobs, which is not physically demanding. Well, you gotta learn, so you can't eat the same diet your grandparents did. You can't do that. Even your parents probably had a different type of career than we do now. So all I'm saying is the requirements have changed. And if we want to keep increasing the life expectancy of our population, we gotta change our ways a little bit, and that's the thing. And then, there's other things to consider. I mean, there's pollution. There's use of chemicals in everything.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's incredible. So, all of that is very difficult to navigate, but there's certain, truths that we know that we should do. So, for instance, you just mentioned it before I even got on. You got to watch the diet. Listen, as far as things to drink, mostly drink water. Okay, don't even think about drinking sodas or even juices. Sodas are terrible for us for a lot of reasons. But other things we drink are really not much better. Sugar is the one that clogs the arteries. Sugar is really bad for us.
Right.
And a lot of the things are just loaded with sugar. People like orange juice in the morning. I don't drink orange juice. And I don't drink it because I read 1 8-ounce glass of orange juice is roughly equivalent to the amount of sugar that's found in 8 oranges. 8.
Wow.
Well, who in their right mind is going to sit and eat 8 oranges at one time? Nobody. It's just easier to drink all that, and they add sugar to things. If you read the label for the orange juice, most of it says, what are the ingredients? Orange juice concentrate. Why would they concentrate it? Why don't they just leave it the way it is? Well,
Yeah, you
because
know,
they want to give you more sugar. Yeah, because
and, you know, and after you feed your body that for so long, you know, daily, day in and day out, that's what your flesh get used to, you know, and that's why it's so hard and challenging to make those dietary changes.
Right.
But it's
Yeah.
a must. You have to see that, hey, this is not going to do anything but
no.
take me to a quick grave, and you have to make some changes.
Yeah, and
The
I
food-
agree with you,
Mhm.
Dr. Dan. I wrote some of your notes down. How when as we age, and I had to learn that, and you know, as our body aged, things change. You know, especially for women when we lose estrogen, that protected
Oh, yeah.
hormone. You know, we got to shift something. We got to change something. We can't keep eating, and like you said, we can't eat the
No.
way our parents ate. They kept eating
No.
the same stuff, and their
No.
body was what? You 60, 70 or whatever, 50 years old, and now your body has shifted and you don't have all that protected hormone there in your body to help. Now
Right.
you still eating fried food. You still, you know, it's going to catch up with you. So you're absolutely right. And
Yeah.
we just
I got to tell you, you know, my wife and I, we mostly eat at home. Not because we can't afford it, we choose to eat at home. The
Right.
quality of food you make at home is much better than you will buy in a restaurant.
right.
And also, you get more satisfaction when you make it yourself. And so, you know, for instance, just think about it. When you go to a restaurant, they are serving food that tastes good because they want to appease you so you will be coming back. That's what they do. They don't do it because it's healthy. Their health is not their concern. Their concern is repeat business. And so they're serving you stuff that's very tasty, and you know that's what they do. So you get used to that, and you want to go back and get more. Well, there's a lot of chemicals they put in some of these foods that you
Yes.
know
More
make you go back.
than-
Yeah. So I'm just gonna mention this. We drive by what's it called, Chick-fil-A here in Aiken, and you know it's full of people all the time. Like there's like 2 or 3, I don't know, lanes to go in there. Like are they selling drugs there? Like what is going on? Well, I watched this medical doctor's you know, YouTube website, and he actually went to Chick-fil-A. This is his thing. He goes to different fast food restaurants, and he, you know, talks about the items on the menu. And you could actually, none of this is hidden. He goes to Chick-fil-A when he did a show about Chick-fil-A. Go to Chick-fil-A website, and there's list of ingredients in Chick-fil-A chicken. So you know, you ask people, and you can say like, well, which chicken sandwich you think for fast food restaurant is the best quality? And most people might say, well, I think it's Chick-fil-A because it's 100% chicken. Well, that's what they think. But then you look at it, and their chicken patty or whatever has no less than 30 ingredients. 30.
Yes,
So,
I
you know,
saw it. I looked it up.
What the heck is going on? Their fries also have some crazy amount of ingredients. So, and they're not the only one. I mean, they're just, so,
Yeah.
you know, they put stuff in there. Let me tell you, the food companies got it into a science. And I used to do that. I was a food scientist before I went and decided to go to grad school and go do chiropractic for a living,
Yes.
which I love doing. But, you know, before that, I didn't really concern myself about health. I was a engineer of food technology. And so when I worked for these companies and we're working on some, trying to come up with a new product or whatever, we just make sure the ingredients that we will use are approved by the FDA. As long as they're approved, it's all fair game. We can put them in anything. We didn't care that, oh, is this safe or not, you know? So they do stuff. So these food companies hire highly intelligent and educated people. And I used to be, with my undergrad degree, one of those, but food scientists can get a PhD. I mean, I went a different direction, but people do that. And they are super smart. And they know what chemical in the food does what to your center in your brain to make you want more. They put stuff in there. So Chick-fil-A is doing it, obviously. And they're putting things in there that when you eat that sandwich, it does something to certain receptors in your brain that makes you want to have more. It's almost like being addicted. So it's legal. It's not illegal what they're doing. They're doing everything that's approved by our government, but they know what they're putting in there and combination of those ingredients to make you want to keep coming back. So that's really what it is. So really, the game is rigged. The game is rigged. So the only way to win and live long is not to play the game at all. You really shouldn't consider going to all these fast food restaurants as a rule. Maybe once in a while if you really miss it. But I don't go that often at all. I really barely go. I don't know last time I went to Chick-fil-A. I really don't remember. But I don't miss it. I don't think about it. I don't miss it. But you can eat meat. My wife and I went to Sam's Club the other day, and they had this, ground beef there, and he says all natural, grass-fed beef, whatever. And then I'm like, I wonder if this is good. So I look it up. I'm like, I want to read the ingredients, see what's in there. Guess what the ingredient is? Beef, nothing else. It just says beef. And I'm like, you know what? Let's buy it. It sounds good. So it looks like that's a quality beef I can purchase. Sam's Club wasn't even that much money, but it's supposed to be from cows. They are running on the field. Is that true? I don't know. I have to trust them on it. But in theory, that should be a good quality beef. He says that's it. That's the only ingredient is one ingredient, beef.
You're right, so, Dr. Dan. That's all we can go by. If
that's all I can do. And so a lot of these medical doctors that I follow, they say you should eat diet that consists of mostly single ingredient, food items. So, banana is a banana. Apple is an apple. Chicken is a chicken. Beef is beef. Fish is fish. Unless you see 30 things in there. If you go to a store and there's like a breaded chicken patty there, and you start reading ingredients and it reads like encyclopedia there, you shouldn't buy that. You should buy a piece of chicken that says chicken, nothing else in it. And I don't know what else to say.
That's so true, and that's so important.
Right.
Thank you so much for bringing those points.
That was awesome. Some awesome nuggets. And Dr. Dan, I learned a lot from you, and you inspired me. And I go and I do all this research, and I look see these things. So everything you're saying is just confirm everything that what we're going on. And if we don't self-educate ourselves, we don't read these food labels and pick better choices of food to eat at home, cook your food. You know what ingredients that are in your food. Do the best that you can. For those that can grow your own vegetables, do the best. If you can't, try to buy from the farms. So you're absolutely right. Just confirm everything that I have been researching, and just want to get the information out to the people. So I'm glad that you brought that up.
Yeah, and the thing of it is too is if you start reading those labels and start reading those ingredients, some of those things will start discouraging you from wanting to eat those foods when you start seeing all the chemicals and the things that are in that food. So start reading the labels, start reading the ingredients.
Read it and subscribe to medical professionals. There's a lot of knowledge for free. YouTube, if you don't want to read, go watch a video, and they have all these YouTube videos. And a lot of these doctors sell you nothing. They're not doing it to make money. Their business is they make money just doing the video, so they don't have to sell you anything. And I subscribe to a lot of them, and a lot of my knowledge comes from those people. And they give you really good tips, and so you have to educate yourself. What we do on this show is we don't really have much time, so we can only just but if you can think about it, just kind of start thinking and changing the way you think about life in general, and don't just depend on what other people are serving you. And in this country, I think, based on everything I read, we are now manipulated to the max as a society. There's social media, and this is really scary, but they say it looks like over 90% of everything on social media is fake. Like all this news and stuff, and tell you what to do, all these so-called influencers, a lot of them are getting paid to promote something, and they make you look like it's the best thing there is. But when you actually take a look at it, they're actually benefiting from that themselves, and they're just, faking you out. So, there's so many ways for them to manipulate us right now, the way we think about life in general, that is ridiculous. And, I am actually, I feel like the time is now to start going backwards. Like, we did a lot of industrial processing, and now we should go back to our roots. My wife and I are thinking of making a little garden on our land over here later on this year, and grow our own vegetables, grow our own tomatoes, potatoes, peppers, onions. You can do all that, cucumbers. That doesn't take much effort. I'm going to start buying that and making my own little garden, and maybe some fruit as well. Because what you make is yours, and it's not polluted, So
Right.
a lot of people. So I feel like you got to go back now. You got to revert back.
Back to the basics. Back to the basics.
And you talk about back to the basics, Dr. Dan. Even our ancestors, they didn't eat like we eat now: breakfast, lunch, dinner, and then snack in between everything. Snack between breakfast, snack between lunch. So we're just eating, taking in too much. And understand, listeners, we understand that this is challenging, but it's doable. It's possible.
Doable.
The small changes. Don't be so restrictive and have so many rules in your life. You want to enjoy
One small change at a time.
Right, but you want to also ensure that you're taking care of yourself, of your body. And remember, the children live in your home, so whatever you're doing, they're learning from you.
They're going to learn too.
So it's like a continuous cycle. So somebody has to break that string.
And what's really interesting, when you talk about all that stuff, I mean, all these habits can be changed. And we talked about this before. If you want to change your habits and your taste and everything, it takes about 90 days. That's 3 months. So if you decide, hey, I'm not going to drink soda anymore, stop drinking soda for 90 days. 90 days later, you won't miss it because your body grows new cells. And within 90 days, all your cells are new, and including your taste buds. And your taste bud will change. And now you develop taste for sugar and for all these things that are bad. But if you avoid them for at least 90 days, you won't miss it anymore. You would simply don't need it. It's almost like being a drug addict and trying to, wean yourself off of these things. So, there's so much to talk. It's so many bad things out there. It's just like
you have to pray over your food. You got to pray over your food, then, Dr. Dan. You got to pray over because.
And I would say this. People get upset about politics. They talk about what the government is doing and all that. That's upsetting. But there's nothing really we can do about it. I mean, I vote and that's it. Why don't you get upset about food and lifestyle that they're selling us? That's making us all sick. Why don't you get upset about that? Because you can change that on your own. When the time comes, vote somebody else in the office that maybe is better, but it's never going to change. These politicians are all bad. They always do whatever they're doing. However, on your personal level, you can change. You can change your life. Who cares who's in the office? If you're eating healthy food and everything, and you exercise and you sleep well and you have less stress in your body, you're going to live long, you're going to live a good life, and, don't stress yourself. Part of not stressing yourself is turn off all this social media, turn off the TV, don't watch all these bad things on the news all the time. It's like they feed on that, they feed on that. If it's some good news, they barely talk about good stuff. It's always bad, I choose not to watch this stuff. I watch what interests me, which is chiropractic, nutrition. I like to exercise. I like motorcycles. I like those electric bicycles. I like to travel. I read about destinations that I want to go to. That's what interests me. That's what I watch, My wife likes to watch cooking shows. She watches all these cooking shows. And I always say, well, how come you don't cook that stuff? So, but, I watch stuff that I want to go to. I'm like, hey, I see, I don't know, a new waterfall I didn't see in North Carolina, mountains. I'm going to go there. So, I'm going to go there. I will definitely make it there. I make plans to do those things. That's what makes me happy,
Right.
So choose to uplift yourself and be responsible for your own self. Don't wait for anybody to save you. No one's going to come and save you. You need to save yourself. That's really what it is. But it's a choice, Cardiovascular disease is preventable. And basically, when people are suffering with that, they've done a lot of bad choices over a lot of years, and then you all accumulate it, and then they end up having all kinds of problems. Well, let's not do that. Let's cut it off. And you gotta learn. Why not learn? Why waste time on TikTok and watching stupid things and just wasting time?
Yes, come
You
on.
can actually educate yourself
That's
and
it.
make your life better. Make your life better. That's all I'm saying. So
That's some good stuff. So
Yes.
yeah, we're at that great time again, Dr. Dan. But
This
thank
has
you
been
so much,
good.
for the
Yeah.
information that you did get an opportunity to share with us. I mean, we can go on and on about this.
there's a lot.
So we just hope it fall on ears that hear and people ready to, put it to work and put it to action so that they can make some differences in their life. So tell us a little bit, Dr. Dan, about Aiken Chiropractic, and how people.
Well, I mean, they all know me by now, but Aiken Chiropractic, we're still there 5 days a week, and they can call us. We still do the Pyro Wellness program. By the way, I haven't raised the prices. The prices are still the same. It's $79 for 4 treatments, which is less than $20 a visit if they need to do that, and that kind of stuff. So they can call us 803-641-9191. They go to our website, aikenchiropractic.com, and I see quite a few people, I don't know, fill in the form on the website, and then he sends me an email, and he has the name of the potential patient and their phone number and email, and then they write down what is the reason they want to come see us. So I give it to my staff the next morning so they can call them and make an appointment. So if that's what they want to do, that's fine too. I would just call the office, but you can do the website as well. That's fine. So we will follow up with that, and I'll be happy to see what we can do to help. We got all those therapies, we got digital X-rays, we got it all. So I'll be more than happy to do it. We take insurance if people have something they want to use. I am a provider for Medicare and Medicaid. They still pay for what I do, and I think it's important to use that if you have it. I do personal injury as well. If somebody ends up getting in some kind of an accident or something, and they want to treat, that's fine too. We do that as well. So I have a total mix of
Excellent,
patients. Yeah.
excellent.
Awesome.
All right,
Awesome.
guys. See Dr. Dan.
Dr. Dan. So again, thank you again for being on with us. We'll see you next month. Same bat time, same bat channel.
And remember, it's National Nutrition Month, so go ahead and
Ooh.
well, you can really dig in. So go ahead and get your notes ready because we're gonna be ready for you.
We will get a little bit more specific next month about what
Yes.
certain foods actually do to the body. I will get a
Yes,
little bit more
please
specific.
do. I
Awesome.
want you to.
Sounds great.
Yes. Okay.
All right.
We
Dr.
see you. Bye bye.
Have a good one.
You
Bye.
too. Bye bye.
All right. Awesome.
Oh,
as
awesome,
always.
guys. I
Awesome as
tell you
always.
guys, go out there, self-education. Your health is your priority. You have to be a self-advocate for your own health. Even in your healthcare provider, having a relationship with your healthcare provider, go getting your physical so you can make sure your blood levels are in good range. And making changes, like Dr. Dan said, as we age, things change,
Yeah, just do. Yeah.
and so, but we're going to really dig into that food
Mhm.
next month. We're really going to dig into that because, it's a whole lot of research. It's a whole lot of information out there now that has been put out there, even with the 3 times a day eating. We're really going to dive into
Yes.
that
Yes.
a little bit more. But guys, we hope you enjoyed the program. Go back and listen to it and, get some more nuggets
Some more
from it.
nuggets. That's right.
Absolutely.
So, okay, guys, listen, this is Heart Health Month, and that's what Dr. Dan's just got through talking to it. So just, focus on, cleaner dietary choices, become more physically active, look at the lifestyle factors that you may have when it comes to smoking or alcohol, things like that can, damage your blood vessels. And then preventive screenings, make sure you get your regular checks so you know what your numbers are. All of those things are so very important. Again, want to acknowledge our sponsors before we get off the air this morning. Aiken Chiropractic, Dr. Dan. When your spine is aligned, your body is too. Aiken Chiropractic is located at 425 Lawrence Street, Northwest in Aiken, South Carolina. Their number is 803-641-9191. Their website is www.aikenchiropractic.com. And Keith Richardson of Nobody Turned Down. Get a free Medicare checkup and make sure you're in the right Medicare plan. You can call Keith at 803-281-6600. Again, that number is 803-281-6600. 888-6600. His email is keith@nobodyturneddown.com, and his website is www.nobodyturneddown.com. If you'd like to be a sponsor partner of the show, you can call 706-592-8862. Listen, guys, we're so glad that you joined us this morning, but we want you to stay tuned for the Concerned Ministers Fellowship. You Matter is coming up with Pastor Bush right after us. And then Saturdays with Sean Harris at 10 a.m. will be coming up after Pastor Bush, and Midday Motivations with Alicia G at 11 a.m. and Tony D later on this evening at 6 p.m. with the New Artist Profile. Our weekly broadcasts are awesome broadcasts. Pastor Smalls Morning Praise Devotion at 10 a.m. Community Matters Mondays at 11 a.m. And Mary Harris Afternoon Praise Cafe 12 p.m. Minister Arlene Edwards is talking it up at 3 p.m. Then Reginald Forrest on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. will be sharing Education Matters with you, and Pastor O'Neill will be transforming lives every Thursday at 11 a.m. And then Pastor Small and Sister Smalls will be closing us out on Fridays at 11 a.m. with Community Matters.
And guys, we always like to thank you for listening to Help Matters here on Shout 94.7, the voice of the gospel truth. We always like to remember we're here to help you to become a better you, to be the best you that you can be. We like to leave you with 3 John 2. We wish above all things that you may prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prosper. Guys, remember, always sow and show an act of kindness, because you never know when that act of kindness may be extended back to you. We love you here at Help Matters, God. Remember, you matter and your help matters.
Health is life. Your health matters. You matter. Health begins in the spirit and the mind. Take time to love you. Live well. Be well.
Yeah, let's go.
Health matters to me.
Come on, get up, cause you tune into the station for your morning motivation to get your education for your health and your spiritual needs.
Health matters to me.
Yeah, strong will to empower the people, to promote the peace, though positive attitudes, behavior, that's a lifelong dream goals.
Health matters to me.
Yeah, health matters and we're here to help you become the better you, to be the best you, the best version you can be.
Health matters to me.
Yeah, and it's time for this classic, fantastic food for your soul. Here's Jackie and Coach Patrick right here. Let's go.
Health matters to me.